Good evening. We are on Daf Pei Amud Aleph, 17 lines from the top. Continuing in the Gemara, discussing that penalty for damages is all about the money and not taking a limb as revenge. The Rebbe Yahya Tana. Rabbi Yahya says, Amar Kra, the Pasuk says, Yad biyad, hand for hand. Davar nitan miyad liyad. It means something that's given from hand to hand. What's that? Mamon, money. The Gemara says, one second. When it says leg for leg, that can't be the same thing. Well, nothing gets passed from foot to foot like hand to hand does. Amri the Rabbi Yahya Krayatira Kadarshi. Rabbi Yahya was explaining the extra pasuk. Michti, because why? In the pasuk of by the halachot of Zamamim, we say that you shall do to the guy what he wanted to do to the witnesses what he wanted to do to the other guy. She might think that you have to do an exact punishment. Yad biyad lamli warani, the pasuk to tell you hand for hand. Therefore must be talking about they have to pay money when they testify about damages. So how do I explain regel beregel? You say no, it's all about symmetrical. Since it says yad biyad, also mentions regel beregel. By another thing. أتي من تاني بحسكية سيدنا بحسكية عين تحت عين نفش تحت نافش eye for an eye life for a life لا نفش في عين تحت عين but you don't give a life and an eye for an eye. Why? She might think that you have to blind someone who's actually losing an eye. Then in the مشكحة عين بنفش تحت عين you could have an eye for a life at the same time. Because maybe then the guy murdered someone, he stabbed him through the eye and it killed him. So he lost his eye and his soul. Maybe we should do that. Therefore, it's a proof that it has to be monetary. The Gemara says, what's the problem? We say, well, let's check the situation. If he's able to get blinded, we do it. If he can't be blinded, we don't do it. And if we try, we estimate that he can't handle it. And he did, and anyhow, he dies. If he dies, who cares? Let him die. He deserves it. He was supposed to die anyhow. It's not our problem that he couldn't handle it. The Bedin says that he right, sorry, Milo Turan Gav Malkud. We have the same concept regarding Malkud. If they if they assess that he's able to handle 36, and they did 36 and he died, Patur. Right? So not a proof that you could do money because it's not necessarily that we're excluding ayin tahat ayin. Razvid mashmid Rabba Amar Kira Petza tahat ba'asa, wound for a wound. 10 sa'at from nezek to give pain even when there's damage. If I think there has to be actual damage to the guy what he did. Just like that guy had pain. This guy should also have pain. Alright, so then why are you paying money for tzar? Alright, if you're doing pain for pain, punch for punch, basically, then why you pay for pain? It must be that you're not giving him the same attack. My question was the problem. Maybe you have a guy who got injured who's very delicate. He doesn't have a high pain tolerance. He had higher pain. You have a guy who has a high pain tolerance. Who doesn't have pain. What's the difference? We say, okay, if you have a guy who's a high pain tolerance who got injured and the guy does not have high pain tolerance, you injure him a little bit to give him the same amount of pain. And then after that, you pay the difference of what wasn't given because he couldn't handle it. Not a good proof. Amar Kra, the pasuk says, you shall heal him. You have to give money for healing even when you're paying for damage. If you have to hit the guy instead of money, just like this guy needs healing, you have to heal this guy now. All right, so if you're saying, oh, heal the guy and pay him, okay, but now if you would, so it must be too much money because if it wasn't money and you have to hurt the guy back, then what would be the situation where the same way you healed this guy, you have to re-heal him again. You have to heal the attacker now. Rashi Amar, another proof, Ati tahat tahat. Mishor, you have Gzer Shiva of tahat from the shore. Ketiv hacha ayin tahat ayin. The person says ayin an eye for an eye. Ketiv hatam by the shore, it says Shalem Mishlam shor tahat ashor. You pay for the ox. Just like over there, you don't replace it with an actual ox. You replace it with cash. So too over here. The Gemara says, "My hadid datam tahat shor." Why would you learn the word tahat from the word shor? Nilaf tahat, use the word tahat to learn tahat min adam from the case of Adam, a person who got murdered. That's nefesh tahat nafesh. You give a life for a life. Just like over there, you kill the guy. Afkan, so over here, you have to take out the guy's eye. The Gemara says, Amri, we learn the damages of a person from the damages of an animal. We don't learn damages of a person from the death of a person. The Gemara says, we have the Torah, the Rabban, the Din Adam Adam, the Indin Adam Adima. What do you mean? Opposite. If you're learning it from a person, learn person to person. Person's death, person's punishment should be the same. Kill the guy, take out his eye. Both of them. Learn animals from you don't learn person from the animal. That just like money by an animal, you manage that person. The Gemara says therefore another proof. We have Exer Shava from a person who violates a girl. He has to pay her father 50 shekels because he hurt her. Adam Adam Nezakin Nezakin. Therefore we have a pasuk of Nezek teach you cash. Okay, Tanya. Rabbi says, "Ayin tahat ayin mamash." You do take out his eye. Pretty intense. Mamash I mean, you actually have to take out his eye. I did have to call Hani tonight, but it is there. We just had all these beautiful Tanaim who put all these proofs that's in money, not the eye. They weren't not exact. Lamash in Shamina toke, but we don't evaluate him like a slave. The one says the come on, what do you mean? So if you're not evaluating him like a slave, how do you do it? Ben Harin, like a free guy, Ben Harin eat like the May. You can't evaluate a free guy. There's no market. And we say no. You do the slave concept, but you don't go according to the damagee, you go according to the damager. Similarly to we have like by the shore regarding in the beginning of the Masajid. Okay. How Hamad the Kataya the Nuka was once donkey you cut off the hand of the child. After the made up Barashmu that came up from the Rabbi Marla, he said, Zilu Shumu they are about to go pay the other 4 payment besides pain. Amale Ravar Vastin Baha and Hamishatam. We know we have 5. Amale Lavar Mineza Kamina. I meant the 4 besides damage. Amale Vahamor who it's a donkey itself caused damage. Hamor and Hamor only pays damage. Adam is have 5, but not a person, not an animal. Malu says, oh, true. Zilu Shumul Nizakis, they just pay for damages. In the Shlum. So 1 second, that means we have to assess him like a slave. Malu, Zilu Ashmul Kabda. Go check how much he would be worth as a child slave. Whereas Amalu Avod the Nuka, the father of the child said, Lo Baina, I don't want that. The Zila Milta, it's degrading for him to get like quote unquote appraised at the market. Amalu, the Kama Nuka, 1 second. You're causing your son to lose out on whatever money he would have gotten for losing his hand. When I said, the father said, no problem. Don't worry, I'll take care of him. When he gets older, I'll compensate him myself. The ox that chewed off the hand of his kid. He said to them, go check out, assess the appraise him like a slave. I'm really told call Hani Shom, whoever was assessed like a slave, and go to Pavel. You don't collect money from Pavel. Because the halacha is that if the guy already grabbed it, we have to figure out the payment. So yes, we don't actively take it from suing, but if the guy takes payment, we have to figure it out with him. So we say assess him not because we are suing him, but because in case the guy grabs it. Rava goes according to his opinion. Amarava nizkeh short b'shor regarding an ox caused by an ox, the nizkeh short regarding an ox that hurt by person. Govino to Bavel, you collect in Bavel. Nizkeh adam badam, but of person to person. Nizkeh adam b'shor or injuries by a person from an ox. And govino to Bavel, we don't collect from Bavel. Maishtar nizkeh adam badam nizkeh sham below. How come we do person to person and not person to ox? Elohim bainan v'laika. Pasuk says you need judges, right? Elohim means judges, and we don't have judges in Bavel. So the Gemara says in this case, so how come we do ox to ox and ox person to ox then? It should be nothing. Elohim we don't have judges. Amud bet. How come we have ox to ox and ox to person? Because we are carrying out the shlichut of Eretz Yisrael. Just like the cases of money cases and loans. Adam, badam, badam, it's the same thing. By person to person and person to ox, also we should judge them in Bavel. So too, Eretz Israel is allowing us to do it for them, just like money problems. I'm already not different reason. When do we do out the shlichut of Eretz Israel? Things that we have bakia, where we know very well we're certain. Since we don't know certain things, we don't carry it out. Since personal injuries are hard to do, we can't judge it. So we can't do any appraisals, then nothing should be allowed. Rather, it's because, right? Because it must be, oh, just check out how much an ox would cost in the street. So the Gemara says, so the same way you could check how much an ox is costing, so check how much a person's costing. So we're knocking out, how come we have some in Bavel, how come we don't do some in Bavel? So the Gemara says a different answer. Sorry, then continue. Additionally, sorry. In the cases of double payments or 4 or 5 payments, the kaitzi, which are fixed prices, and therefore you could figure it out easily. We should be able to do it. So how come we don't do in Bavel? We say, when do we do an actual payment? But we don't do by knas. The Gemara says, so but person to person is mamon. We should do, then we should have no problem doing it. We do common injuries, common court cases. Person to person is not common. Therefore we don't do it. But you do have easily cases of boshet, of embarrassment, and become is a depreciation of the person. You should have that. That's pretty common. It's in injuries. Therefore we should judge it. The one says, also the we say that it's true. We do have halachot that regarding embarrassment, you're able to collect certain amounts. They were able to set aside certain pricing for certain type of embarrassments. Or it says, but we say no, not doesn't apply here. He got yelled at. He said, Chisda, how are you collecting knas in Bavel? So now we have to bring a different reason. When do we do betin common disputes and when there's loss of money? But in a case that's common but not have loss of money, or if it's not common but it does have a monetary loss, we don't carry it out. Therefore, person to person, even though it had money, since it's not common, we don't carry it out. Bullshit, embarrassment, even though it's common, since there's no money loss, right? It's just paying, it's reimbursing for not reimbursing, awarding for embarrassment, but it's not a loss. Therefore we don't do it. But go in Bavel, and how then the Gemara says 1 second. We said earlier that ox to ox is done in Bavel. An ox that damaged in Govina to Bavel. We don't do it in Bavel. Gemara says Dazik Manus, you didn't say who damaged. If you want to say damage the person, my ear show we say, of course not. Even a person to person doesn't get damaged. Even a person damaging the person, we don't do it. And I'm in Govina to Bavel, we still don't do Bavel. And Lapshita Dazik, sure, rather be talking about a case where ox damaged an ox, but and Govina to Bavel, and still say that you don't do in Bavel. But it's the exact sira what we said earlier. Tomorrow says Amri Hatam Betam. Rav was talking about an ox to ox, that was a tam, that's a knas. But over here we're allowing it is muad, which is monetary. Amar Rav says en muad bavel. There's no muad in bavel in the first place. So how would you have that scenario where you're doing bavel? Hamri, we say the ayat hatam be'atulacha. It was warned and turned into a muad in Eretz Yisrael, then brought to bavel. Therefore, you could have bavel muad. The Gemara says, that's not common. Something that's not common. We don't carry it out in Bavel. We say, no, easier answer. You have Chachamim from Eretz Yisrael who aren't in Bavel. The Gemara says, that's also not common. You also said before that you don't do things that are not common. So therefore, it explains something else. When Rava said that you collect for an ox to ox damage, bishen bareya. In Shenarega, the mu'adin khatan, they know that they're always considered mu'ad. Okay, next part. We said zar, pain. Very interesting stuff. The guy burnt the guy even on his fingernail with no wound, you still pay. Who's Tana that holds that pain, even without physical damage, is chayav? Marava ben Azahi is according to Bezan Azad. Tanya Rabbi Omer Kevayan and Tchila says a burn is mentioned first. Ben Azai Omer Haburan Amar Tchila, a burn with bruise is mentioned first. Right? The pasuk says a burn for a burn, wound for wound, and bruise for bruise. So they're trying to explain what exactly is being included in the Pesukim. Rabbi says, Rabbi Savar, kiviyad litta habura mashma. When it says kiviyah, it means a burn without a bruise. Therefore, the Torah wrote habura, bruise, legaluya ala de kiviyah, to teach you about the burn, the itba habra'in, that only if you are hayav, if it is a bruise, the ilo lo, but if not a bruise, you're patur. Ben Azar says kiviyah, the itba habra mashma. Kiviyah sounds like it has a bruise. Therefore, the Torah wrote a bruise as well. Legaluya ala de kiviyah, the habura, teach you that a burn, even without a bruise, is hayav. So therefore, Maraki for Rabbi has a question. Adrab, Ibcha Mistabra makes sense the opposite. Because Rabbi Omer Kivyana Emret Rabbi should say that a simple burn is mentioned first. And therefore, Savar Kivyad Itba Habura Mashma Kivya means a burn with a bruise. Therefore, Habura teaches you Legalu ala the Kivya to reveal that when it said Kivya, it means just a burn. You like the Habura without a bruise. Ben Azai says a bruise is mentioned first. Savar kiviyad lipa habura mashma, which sounds like a burn without a bruise. Therefore, Torah said habura at the end. Like we will have the kiviyah teach you about the kiviyah, the itba habura. You only have there is a bruise. Ilo lo, but if there's no bruise, you're patur. The maskana kaimi, and each of them are going according to the end of the pasuk. Right? Each of them learns not from the burn for burn, but rather it ends by the end of the pasuk. They learn the end of the pasuk of bruise, teach you about the kiviyah. In a different explanation, the kula amma kiviyah, everybody understands kiviyah, the burn, ben the itba habura, ben the habura mashma, whether or not there is a bruise, for a burn. And over here, biklal uprat hamru hakim zemizek mifli. And therefore, we're trying to teach you whether or not if you have a klal prat, klal and prat, a klal is generalization, prat is specification. So generally, when you have a klal and prat only, if you have a generalization and specification without anything afterward, it only learns what the specification is about. So you have something general, then it specifies halachas only on the specification, nothing else. So the question is, what if the two things are far away? The generalization and specifications are not connected; they're far away. Rabbi Savar in Danina Tov B'Klal Uprat. Rabbi holds that if it's far away, it does not combine. Therefore, if you're chayav for pain, whether or not there's a wound. Ben Savar says that Danina Tov B'Klal Uprat, we do count it, and therefore, you might think how come Rabbi would need the word habur at all if it doesn't count it? The Mitzrayim teaches you that you're chayav extra when there is damage with pain. So in next part of the Gemara says that when the court is judging how much you pay for pain, I'm leaving that. How much the guy would take to suffer for the pain? Gemara says, how do we assess pain when there is permanent damage, like cut off an arm? How much a person would pay to have his hand cut off? Gemara says, that the cut off his hand, not just pain. There's 5 different things there. All 5 would include it. But we're talking about people who are majnun, foolish, who would want to accept payment for his hand getting cut off. And now we have people who do anything. When it said rather we're saying how much would a person would take to cut off his hand that is as good as cut off, meaning it's completely incapable of doing anything, it's damaged without repair, and just to cut it off, how much would a person pay for it? Not just pain. There's pain and humiliation. Because it's embarrassing for him to just take off a piece of his arm and just kiss it like as dog food. How much would a person pay to cut off his hand that's already getting judged by the government to get it cut off? Meaning his hand, the government already said he got to get his hand amputated. I recently saw a video about Brazil. If you get caught stealing in Brazil, they shoot your hand. So let's say you judged. You have to get your hand cut off. So how much would you pay? Ben Sam, let's say, how much would you pay to get it cut off by like a acid or like by a sword? The Gemara says, Amri, why would a person not do anything and not pay all the money in the world not to suffer pain? Gemara says, how much would a person pay? How much would a person pay to get, like, quote unquote, upgraded? Meaning, how much would he do rather to have it done by a sword, which is painful, to do it, let's say via anesthesia, potion, painless? How much person pay to upgrade that, quote unquote? Where it says highly told, it shouldn't be to take. Litemi barley. How much that person should take money? How much person would give money, like the bribe? Maravuna bread shua. They told them it means when he says to take, it means how much would a person would accept to give to the guy. Yes, that's how much we pay. How much would a person pay not to suffer the pain of having his hand cut off versus removed, quote unquote, peacefully and painlessly? We'll stop here.